Well, hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. I'm doing questions at the moment, and recently someone asked me this question. What if all religions and faiths are just different ways to get to the same God? Wow, a great question. And for everyone, the answer to that will be based, I'm sure, on whether they have a faith or not. I can't claim to be an expert on all faiths. I know some things, and I have some brilliant conversations with friends who follow other faiths, but I wanted to share my thoughts with you on this question today. So for me, as a Christian, I start to answer that question by looking back at the Bible, which tells me that God created everything and everyone. It also tells me that people are made in the image of God. It's a part of them. And for me, I think that means more in our spirit rather than in the 2 arms, 2 legs and a fine head of hair. So what do I mean by a spiritual image of God? Well, I think it looks like people who love, who have concern, who show kindness to each other, who want to be linked together in community, those kinds of things. And I think we all show those things in differing degrees and at differing levels, depending on who we're with and maybe some of what's gone on as well in our past. But nevertheless, I think there's the glimmer of that, at least, if not spades of it in everyone. Secondly, I look at groups of humans throughout history, and in any grouping of humans, you pretty much invariably find that a belief system of some sort has developed. And I think that's part of that image of God in us, drawing us to believe in something more, whether that's religion, whether it's science, whether it's humanity. Some people have talked about a God-shaped hole in us that we have a need to fill in some way. Next, I think about the story that the Bible tells of how the world was created perfectly, but through the things that we as humans have done, not only has that perfection been lost, but it's continued to get worse. The Bible, though, also tells the story of what God chose to do about it, that God came to this earth as a man, Jesus, a man who was also God, not just human, and who taught that there is a better way. His teaching showed people how God intended for us to live, to behave, and to care for each other, as well as care for our world. But the other thing he taught was that we weren't intended to be alone. We weren't intended to be separate from God, but instead exist in this bond of friendship and relationship with God. When Jesus was alive, he told his friends that they knew God because they knew him. In that case, Jesus had come to them. There was no way for us as humans to get to God. The only way was for God to come to us. And that's what Jesus' life was about for me. And even more importantly, that's what his death was about. To pay the price for the wrong things in the world, the imperfection, and restore that link back to God for anyone who chooses to accept it. Christianity is about accepting that forgiveness. The faith that we have in Jesus brings us to that point, and we choose to live in relationship, real living, talking to each other relationship with God. So, having said all of that, which kind of is all very Christian based, let me finish by saying that I think every belief system all points to God, because with God as our creator, we have a natural draw to him. But for me, I believe that Jesus is the only way that relationship can be restored to truly get back close with God. So that's my view. If you'd like to talk more, please do get in touch or pop along one Sunday afternoon. Coffee, cake and chat, 2 p.m, 44 Lindbergh Road. There's so much more I could have said, but 4 minutes just isn't enough to say everything that I wish I was able to. I hope you have a great week. I'll see you next time. God bless you.